See you guys liking the way the wall is looking back here? I think this might be one of my favorite setups I've had so far. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about retro collecting, just collecting as a whole. And one of the questions that I always get asked is, how do I find all these rare games? How do I come across all this stuff? How do I come across these toys? Just stuff week after week. And it's not week after week that I'm finding this stuff. It's every 12th time. It's every 15th time that I've gone out. So what I want to do today for you guys is share 5 of my tips of things that I've come up with over the 17 years that I've been collecting to help you guys find stuff. Number 1, go out often. I know it's an obvious one, but I gotta state that as rule number 1. Always go out often. Like I said, it's that 12th time, it's that 15th time you go out, you're gonna strike gold. You're gonna find something. All those other times, you're probably gonna strike out. You'll be lucky if you come home with anything those times. This inventory is constantly changing and you gotta be vigilant. You gotta stay on top of this stuff. I guarantee you will find things if you do that. Now, I know it's tough for you guys to go out consistently because a lot of you have 40-hour-a-week jobs, you have families. I completely understand that. Luckily for me, I'm a freelance graphic designer aside from doing pixel art, so my schedule is always changing. Sometimes I'll work 50 hours a week, sometimes I'm only working 10 hours in a week. So I always can find time to go out and hit up all these stores that I like to go to. So for you guys that are working 40-hour weeks, try to go out on your lunch break. There might be a place close by, something, a Goodwill, a thrift store, somewhere that's going to have rotating inventory where you can find games. Try to do that. Try to find a place maybe on your way home. Look around. I can guarantee you, if you look hard enough, you will find a place, at least one, that you can work into your schedule, either, like I said, with your work schedule or something you can go to on a Saturday morning or something where they're going to open early and you can get there and you can find stuff. If you do that, I guarantee you, you eventually will find things. So when you're going out often, a big thing that you have to do is always look for new spots. And the best way that I've found to do that, look through Google Maps. Bring up Google Maps and use broad search terms. Thrift, resale, consignment, and set it in a 5 to 10 mile radius and just let Google do its thing and just see all these places that pop up. I cannot tell you how many times I've done this and I found new places, places that just opened, places that I didn't know about. Now when you do that, you want to click on each individual one, bring it up also on Google Street View to see specifically where it is. Sometimes I've found some of these places and the address was put in wrong, or it's a shop that doesn't exist anymore. I found ones where it says it's like somebody's house in a residential area, which clearly it's not real. And also some of these places, they're small, they're out of the way. So if you see a place that doesn't have any Google reviews or it looks a little weird on Google Maps, but they have a phone number, just give them a call. Give them a call and ask what time they're open until. That's the best way I've found to see if these places exist. Number 2 is make relationships with these people that are owning these stores. Now, a lot of them are going to be quirky, weird people like us. They're probably going to be into weird stuff too. So, for example, this one guy that I know that runs a pawn shop that I like to go to, he likes to collect old robots from the 70s and 80s and stuff, those old plastic ones. I'll put a picture up here, like the toys that had like the cassette tapes and stuff in there. He has a whole collection of these things. So, I know that he likes to collect those. He knows that I like old games and toys. So when I'm out looking for stuff, I'll just keep a mental note in the back of my head to find, like if I find any of these for really cheap, I'll pick one up for him just to give to him. And in doing so, he knows that I look for these games. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten random text messages or anything from one of these people that I'm friends with showing me a picture of random Nintendo games that they got from an auction or somebody just traded stuff in, and they say, hey Adam, I want you to come in, I want you to take a look at this. Is there anything that you want before I put it up for sale, before I put it on eBay, just before I put it out there for the public? And in order to do that also is exchange contact information, exchange cell phone numbers, exchange emails, stay in touch with these people, and if you find something that they're looking for, let them know. And I guarantee you, you make relationships with these people, they will let you know when they get stuff in that you're looking for. Number 3. 3's a big one, and that is know your market well. Know what you are looking for, know your value, know what these things go for, know what things are trending for, know what's rare. In anything that you're looking for, any kind of games, toys, books, antiques, know what you're looking for. There's going to be weird variants out there. There's going to be rare stuff. There's going to be stuff that's more sought after. With Nintendo games, like, you know, that we all collect, know what the heavy hitters are out there. Know what games are trending at. Know what games have recently gone up in value. Know what games that have gone down in value. Know what dictates the value of a game, that the condition of a cart, the condition of the label. Now, aside from everything that you do collect, so example, going back to me, what I collect is Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx-16, and PlayStation 2. I know those are very popular systems and they're very difficult to collect for. So what makes it easier is to know other things to collect for. Know things in other systems. Know other rare games like Atari 2600. I come across Atari games all the time. Know what games are hard to find. Know the rare ones. Know the valuable ones. Know what other accessories were used for it. All those weird little niche things like the ColecoVision, the Intellivision. They had all weird stuff like that. Look for those things. Know what you're looking for. Always research and always be learning. Now, the reason why you want to do this is to look out for things that you don't necessarily collect, but you have in your collection that are worth a monetary value. It's always good to take these to your local retro gaming store and use this as trade-in. So that's what I like to do. I will always just have a stockpile of extra games, systems, controllers, anything of value, anything that these stores can use for their stock that will help their business that you can use for trade-in credit to get those weird games, those obscure games, those rare games that you see in the case that you don't want to spend $100 on. Use that. Save up $100 worth of trade credit and trade all that stuff in and walk out of there with that game you want. Big part of knowing your market well too is looking for clues. Example of this, I was out at a thrift store a few weeks ago, and what they do is they take toys and they just bag them up, random stuff. It's like, okay, it's a whole bunch of figures, throw it in one bag, $3.99. This is a whole bunch of Tonka trucks, throw it in one bag, $2.99. And just they throw them all in a bin, so it's all these different bags just full of random stuff. So I always dig through these, and like I said, most of the time I don't find anything. So one of the times I was out, came across this G.I. Joe vehicle. And usually when people trade stuff like this in, it's not just one thing, there's usually more out there. So if you see something like that, you see G.I. Joe vehicle, keep in your mind, look for G.I. Joe vehicles. Look for things like that. Look for figures that were of the same era because that stuff was traded in. So while I was looking through this, unfortunately, I didn't come across a bag of 100 Joes. That would have been amazing, but I did come across this. 2 other Joes, a vehicle, and a really cool Star Wars figure in there. And it's always nice to find Star Wars figures at a thrift store. Number 4, ask, but always keep your eyes open for anything that you're looking for. So, for an example, video games. If you're looking for video games, ask for video games in the store. Don't be specific. Don't say, I'm looking for NEC TurboGrafx games that were released between 1991 and 1993. These people are going to have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and you're just going to confuse them. So ask for very simple things. Ask for video games. Call them Nintendo games. Think back to when we were kids. Regardless of what system we were playing, what did our parents say? Turn off the Nintendo. That's what these people know is synonymous with video games. Ask for video games, ask for Nintendo games. Now also when you ask, a lot of times they're not going to know what all these different video game systems were. So for another example, I went to this antique shop that I normally go to, that I sometimes find stuff at. This nice old lady that runs it, and I asked her, hey, do you have any video games? She's like, oh, no, we don't have anything. We sold everything. And I said, okay. So I turn around to leave, and what do I see on the table is a GameCube with 4 games underneath. Granted, they were sports games, so I didn't give a shit about them, but people don't know. She didn't know exactly what video games were. So what I do is I will pick something up like that, and I will show her. So I showed her one of the GameCube games, like, hey, do you have any more of these of a case like this or with this logo on there? Always show them specific things like that and say, hey, these were video games. Is there anything else like this that you have? And if you do that, I can guarantee you at some time somebody will say, oh yeah, you know what? I have a box of books in the back. I have a box of DVDs, and I happen to see a few things like that. Let me go in the back and get it for you. They'll bring it out, and there will be more games in there. There will be more of what you're looking for. Always, always, always ask. And for number 5, always carry cash. It makes it so much easier for you and so much easier for them. These are small businesses. Cash is the way to go. Don't carry anything bigger than a $20 bill. 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, that's it. If you carry 50s or 100s, it's just going to complicate things. It's going to make things so much more difficult. So carry small bills. It makes it easier for them, and it makes it so much easier for you to negotiate on prices with these. Now, I know stores like Goodwills and Salvation Armies, they have their prices set in stone. You can't negotiate with them. But any of these independent thrift stores and pawn shops, you can almost always negotiate on prices with them. They have a box of Nintendo games. They don't know what they go for. They're going to say $50. You could say, oh, I have 2 20s in my wallet. Would you take $40 cash? It works wonders to do that. And one other thing to always carry with you are quarters. So important, because I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to a store and there's been metered parking, and you don't know how long you're going to be in there for. You might just park, you might be in there for 30 seconds, you might be in there for a good hour. There's been a number of times where I've parked, the meters run out, I've gotten a great deal on something, and I come back out and I have a $50 parking ticket on my car. So always remember to bring quarters with you, bring dollars, bring money with you to pay for parking. So those are just 5 things that I've come up with over the years that have helped me find things, and hopefully they can help you guys find stuff too. And also, please let me know. Leave a comment below. I would love to hear some of the tips and things that you guys do to find stuff. And as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon, and keep it pixelated.